find so frustrating about the conversation around tariffs is that we all agree on the problem. We all agree that the deindustrialization of America led to the downward mobility of the American working class, deaths of despair, people working multiple jobs and not being able to afford the American dream. We all agree that it is deeply unfair for the American middle class to be bearing the burden of unfair tariffs from other countries.
Yes, former Democrat calls out Wall Street and perfectly explain President Trump tariff policies, leave the entire panel speechless. I don't know if you've seen this, extremely concerning. The rich are punishing Trump for siding with the neglected American working class. When I watch this whole video, there is another video, so I'm going to show you. Jon Stewart was left speechless also. At a certain point, a lot of liberals are melting down about this issue of tariffs.
The data is on Trump's side. We have been getting hosed since World War II by the trade imbalance. And the reason that's been overlooked by most presidents, two reasons. Number one, way too complicated, way too risky to get involved with it. So you can do what Biden and Obama did, was just ignore it completely. In the first term, Trump tried a little, but the numbers are staggering. And the best part of Trump's speech today was that he said, if you go to Japan or South Korea or China or Germany, you're not going to see any American cars because they won't let them in. Now, you can get a little chart and say, oh, it's not 40%, it's really 8%. But the regulations that these people put on American products to get in makes it impossible. And then some European nations slap a VAT tax on there. That doesn't come under the tariff umbrella. So Trump is right. We're getting hosed. Mm-hmm.
If we think this sort of liberal world order system, first of all, even if it was serving the U.S. well at one point, is not serving it as well anymore. Second of all, to some extent, may just be going away anyway. China is now rising as a peer competitor. The U.S. cannot be a unipolar hegemon like it was when the Cold War ended. So if we accept that things are going to change, we should have a perspective on what we want to follow. Mm-hmm. And something that I've been writing about a lot is trying to interpret and decipher what that might look like. Because again, it's a very fair critique. They have not been as clear about it as we should want them to be. What I think we should want, and what, like I said, folks in the administration like a Marco Rubio or a Scott Bessent, who I think do write and speak thoughtfully about it, have pointed toward, is the idea that we absolutely want a strong economic and security alliance. It's not going to be the whole world because China is going to have its own sphere as well. Mm-hmm. But what we want to have within our sphere is a few things that in the past the U.S. didn't necessarily ask for. We're going to want balanced trade, where in the past we were happy to let the manufacturing go elsewhere. We're going to want others to essentially own their own defense burdens. That doesn't mean we're not partnering and working together, but that everybody takes primary responsibility for their own defense.
Yes, someone wrote, tariffs are a strategic tool to counter China's predatory trade practices and protect American workers. Exactly why the United States Reciprocal Trade Act empowers the president to level the playing field. The previous administration's weak trade deal led to Beijing flood our market with cheap goods while stealing jobs and tech. Now reciprocal tariffs ensures foreign competitors can undercut U.S. industry or exploit our open market without consequences. Wall Street elites hate this because it disrupts their globalist profiteering, but real Americans win when trade policies prioritize our workers over foreign subsidies. The number does lie. Targeted tariffs shrink trade deficit and force adversaries to negotiate fairly. That is Dodge putting out this. At a certain point, I really don't get it why a lot of people are freaking out. Some understand exactly what is happening, and for a long time ago, this has been going on. We saw what happened during the Biden administration.
What I find so frustrating about the conversation around tariffs is that we all agree on the problem. We all agree that the deindustrialization of America led to the downward mobility of the American working class, deaths of despair, people working multiple jobs and not being able to afford the American dream. We all agree that it is deeply unfair for the American middle class to be bearing the burden of unfair tariffs from other countries. We all agree that it is great for the president to have leverage in order to demand reasonable things, like that countries stop allowing 100,000 Americans every year, and that Mexico do its part to police its own border. And yet when somebody has the courage to show up and say to Wall Street, screw you, I'm waging class warfare on behalf of the American working class, and you elites in Wall Street, you do what you need to do because I'm not going to stop fighting for the American working class. Suddenly, everybody is sitting around going, oh no, the stock market. Yeah, the stock market looks like that because the rich are punishing Trump for siding with the neglected and humiliated American working class over them. We have already seen these tariffs work, Pierce. The number of people crossing the southern border is at 0 for the last 10 years. We have already seen $1.2 trillion in manufacturing invested in this country since January 21st. So they have already worked. Now, how long is Wall Street going to keep trying to punish this president for standing the American working class? I don't know, but I can tell you that the view from the street is people cannot believe that there is a president who is working for them, who is putting them first and telling Wall Street to go screw itself. Wall Street, which picked the Democrats for the last 3 election cycles in a row. That's what the real story is here. American Compass did a survey of just GOP voters. We know now that the majority of Americans who make under $100,000 a year now vote for the Republican Party. So that was almost a means-tested poll, and they found that 77% of GOP voters, the working class, not the elites, said that when they were asked, they said they would be willing to pay higher prices if it meant bringing back manufacturing, because of course in their mind they are going to be the beneficiaries of those manufacturing jobs. About Canada, a lot of people are asking, why Canada? We love Canada. Canada are our friends. Why wage this, tariff war on Canada? And of course the answer is simple. Canada and Mexico are the back door to the American economy because we have this trade deal with them, the USMCA. So if there are no tariffs on China, if Canada and Mexico do not match our tariffs on China, China simply builds car manufacturing plants in Canada and in Mexico, which they have already done, and they use that in order to get tariff-free cars into the American market, which is exactly what President Trump is trying to get away from.
Yes, when you take a look at this lady, a former Democrat, saying the truth, Hillary Clinton is not having it. When you take a look at this tweet, why would a leader tank his own country's economy? That is Hillary Clinton asking this question. It is a key part of the aspiring autocrat playbook. Tariffs and economic chaos mean more power and control for Trump. But America has no king. The Republican-led Congress can stop this at any time. Let your representative hear from you. That is what she posted on Facebook. For a very long time, I'm not seeing her posting again on X. I had to search to see some of the replies on the comment sections. A lot of people blew up on her like never before. People are in support with what Trump actually is doing, though a lot of world leaders are getting crazy about this. I want to know your thought concerning this. What do you think is actually going on here? Is it a good idea Trump is putting out this tariff nearly to, in fact, a lot of countries, though some criticize him, like why can't he put tariffs on Russia? That is what I saw on social media. Yes, this lady was a Democrat, but she changed her mind after observing what they have been doing for a very long time. I actually enjoyed this segment to a certain level. When you take a look at their faces, the panel was speechless. Yeah, they could not even say anything. People who I believe, they claim every single time they know a lot, they can't even speak up here.
I think you saw a repudiation of the fact that Donald Trump got elected to seal the southern border and to reduce the price of eggs. Donald Trump has come to Washington, D.C. and flipped things upside down in a way that people do not want. And so today you had, I forget the department because they shut a new department down every day, but you had employees, I think it was HHS today, I can't recall, who it was at HHS.
At the health department.
Yeah, at the health department standing in line today, and they didn't know who was going to be hired and who wasn't. And so you can sit here and say that, oh, we're not going to cut Medicaid, we're not going to do this, but the people who are in charge of running those programs don't have jobs today. And so it's hard to effectuate and put those policies in place if Elon Musk is here running roughshod on the government.
Elections, it was 10-1 that the Democrats outspent the Republicans. And yes, Democrats are obviously more
in the Florida races.
In the Florida races, it's 10-1. Money. So talk about buying an election. But you said President Trump was elected to secure the border. He was elected to lower the price of eggs. Guess what? Both of those things have happened. Mortgage rates have also come down. Oil prices have come down.
If you think the kitchen table issues today, if you think that people are sitting at home today and saying that their prices have gone down today, then you need to go outside and have these town hall meetings. I'm simply saying that the egg prices have come down, the oil prices have come down, mortgage rates have come down. Waffle House still has a 50-cent surcharge on eggs. Okay.
I went shopping the other day.
I think the other thing that's really important to point out is the referendum in Wisconsin. The voter ID referendum, which was President Trump's a huge priority for President Trump, voter IDs. And it passed by double digits, and that, I think, was also a very big win. So
This is CNN. They are still in shock. Thank you guys for always being there, sharing all my videos. God bless you abundantly. And please remember to always share the videos because the channel is not getting recommendations. And the only thing we can solve it is by massively sharing the videos. If you get my notification, and always check if you are subscribed and your notification, because these people are crazy. If you see clips after this, that is just for the YouTube algorithm. You might have been watching my video, seeing that you can end here, no problem.
About emergency management, and they don't care about free speech.
Dribble his genius.
Fired as host of this year's White House Correspondents' Dinner. The Correspondents Association president, Eugene Daniels, said the decision was made to take the focus off the politics of division and concentrate on honoring outstanding journalists.
The Trump administration is not scoring any points in international diplomacy these days. Duh. Vance up.
It looks like the Trump administration isn't exactly getting the hero's welcome.
The fact that the Americans finally realized what the reality was, namely that if they had come here to nuke as planned tomorrow, they would have been met with riots.
This is a Fox News alert, a crushing blow for Democrats who had hoped against hope.
Brad Schimmel, that has included Elon Musk pouring tens of millions of dollars.
I think you saw a repudiation of the fact that...
Do you think the Republican takeaways tonight are going to...
The margin right now, Randy Fine in the lead with 53.7% of the vote against.
My problem is more with these Democrats.
Said about him. And talks a lot about that. Although some people have.
Dinner. The whole dinner, the tour around the White House, it was... Barr's a big, supporter of Trump's stance on the border.
Just a little bit on the five. That's kind of how politics should be.
We came to dinner, me, Bill, Dana White, and at the end of the month, taking...
Brad Schimmel, that has included Elon Musk. At the call to be a clear lead for Susan.